bases to cover. That is the main strategic problem. Now let's talk about how Ukraine executed its shaping operations to exploit this framework. Shaping operations are not the thrust of the attack. Think of them instead as the preliminary bouts leading up to the main event. At the risk of condensing 6 months of activity down to a minute or so, consider what Ukraine has been up to since the previous counterattacks. Ukrainian forces stayed in Bakhmut, convinced Russia to engage in urban combat, and caused enough casualties during the slow retreat to induce a public spat among Russian troops. Even after losing the city, Ukraine has pressed around its outskirts to force Russian troops to flow in, even as Wagner mercenaries withdraw from the area. By the end of the spring, the major news stories had crossed the border into Russian territory. The clearest phase of this featured repeated attacks by Russian partisans in the Belgorod region, first coming from the west of Kharkiv, then pausing briefly, then coming from the east of Kharkiv. But it may have also included drones of uncertain origin, flying over the Kremlin, and then later drone attacks in the posh, Kremlin-aligned Moscow suburbs. Western intelligence currently indicates that Ukrainian-sponsored partisans, perhaps like those engaged in the cross-border raids,